very much. Put your hands together for Sedrick. You know, he's been the same kind of phenomenal since high school. And I won't tell you how long ago that's been, but we've been good friends for a long, long time. So he talked about the 1, 2, 3, 4. So can we have fun with the 1, 2, 3, 4? You know, musicians, we can only count to 4, right? 1, 2. So I want y'all to do me a favor. Can you put your hands together? You guys did a fantastic job. Now, I want you to think about something. When you hear that music, when you hear those sounds, do you think sadness? Do you think, oh, you know, it's going to be a horrible day? Oh, my bills are due. No, we think joy and happiness right there, don't we? Right? So when you think about the arts, and me and Sedrick talk about it a lot, is that we have the opportunity to create a mood. And he spoke about that. This is giving us an opportunity to create a mood. When you see this piece, you don't think, oh man, I don't think I can make it. I think I just want to go and shoot myself. I mean, that's not what you think when you see this, right? When you walk in here, you see the grandness of it. It's huge. I don't know if you did the same thing I did. When I walked in, I went, wow. How did you get that thing here? And think about it. When we think about music, sometimes you go and you see a large orchestra. Maybe you see a 30-piece band, and you see all of these guys doing different things at the same time, and you go, wow, that is amazing. How did they put all of those things together? How does it all go together like that? And I'm going to play something very, very simple for you. And it kind of is doing the same thing as this painting is doing. Now, if you think about it, I don't know if I think he explained it already, is one of the things that you'll see is how they're all connected. You see that the big circle there in the wrinkles of the different quilts. You see that? Now, even though they're all different, they all connect together through a current theme. And we talked about that being the same as music. So sometimes when we play music, we have what we call a key and what I call a frame here. All of this exists within a frame, just like music exists within a key. In other words, those are the things that we have to work with. There's only 3 primary colors. Now, Sedrick corrected me, there's actually a 4th. Technically, there's white, right? But there's only 3 primary colors. And so all of these wonderful strokes, this wonderful painting was all done with 3 colors. That's it. Every piece of music that you've heard in your life, whether it's Bach or whether it's Lil Wayne, has 12 notes. That's it. Every masterpiece was put together with 12 notes. And a lot of times when you hear different masterpieces, they're actually linked together. And I'm going to show you an idea of them being linked together. I'm going to play a song. Now, it's okay if you don't know this song. It's okay. I'm not going to hold it against you. Some of you guys will be familiar with it. But I'm going to play something, and I'm going to play something a little different. And then I'm going to link them all together. Are you ready? You guys don't look ready. Are you ready? All right. You know what it is so far? Okay, you guys are pretty quick. So you can see how we start with one song. What song was that? I just want to see if you're paying attention. So you start in one area that you may be very familiar with. and things are going along a certain path, I'm using a certain key structure. Now I'm going to be technical just for a minute. Happy Birthday is written in what's called a major key. All right? So no sharps, no flats, actually. It's in the key of C as I was playing it. Okay? That key doesn't change. Now, as I play through that, though, just as you see this blue go into this patchwork here, I totally changed the timbre. Something totally different. Now, I want you to listen real quick. This is the key. And in the middle of it, I was playing things like, that doesn't even sound right. If there's nothing to connect it to, it just doesn't sound right at all. If I was playing, you're like, wait a minute, there's something different there. I'm not really sure, was that a right note? It kind of fit. And then if I took it a little further and went, you're like, wait a minute, that last note, there was something kind of with that. But when you have something to connect them all together, you won't even be able to tell. So if I went, it all fits together, doesn't it? And I was playing notes that you would never ever think would be in that same area. I was playing, which doesn't fit in. That doesn't fit. You're like, I'm not a musician, but that just sounds wrong. Until I go, then it all fits together. One of the things I talked to Sedrick about, I call him Sed, I'm sorry. He's been my friend for a very long time. We talk a lot about needing the artist. I've told him that I never want to go to another museum without the artist being there to explain the art. Because I don't know about you, I would never see any of that without Sedrick, right? And we talked about the fact that music is kind of the same way. And we step back into what we call bebop jazz. Are you guys familiar with bebop jazz? I'm going to play something else for you that you might be familiar with, right? So let me think if I can play. You guys remember that song? Flintstone. Flintstones was actually written over something called a rhythm change, one of the most interesting pieces of jazz music. And they found this little simple melody to put over top of it. So I'm going to play it a little bit different so you guys can kind of hear that. So here you have underlying this ridiculous changes, these very interesting changes that are going on from a jazz perspective. And it's very simple melody on top. And there's a couple of pieces of music that are just like that. They have very simple melodies on top. We discussed one of them. It's called Giant Steps. Any of you guys ever heard that song, Giant Steps by John Coltrane? We got one. All right. See it? Give him a hand right there. All right. I want you to go and listen to that song when you get a moment. And when you hear the song, you'll hear a very simple melody. And you'll think to yourself, well, there's nothing to it. But the song is moving at about 300 beats a minute, and it's changing keys like every measure. And you have somebody soloing over it, making all of those things connect together. And so in that way, we look at music and art in kind of a similar fashion, is that you're taking things that may be disconnected and putting them all together to make it very aesthetic. Bring back on my friend Sedrick. Thank you very much.